to stay low key. I had to stay out the way. I couldn't make no moves. I had to wait on the plane.
I want you to introduce yourself to tell people who you are and the reason that we're
Right.
doing this interview today.
I go by the name of Blood Raw. For those who don't know, um, a man of many aliases. B. Rothstein, Ric Flair, Bonnie Rebel, many names. But I'm from Panama City, Florida, born and raised. Yeah, that's for the most part.
Okay. All right. So we're going to jump in as if
Yeah,
you never did this before. So,
let's get it.
who were your earlier influences in music?
Scarface and Tupac
Okay.
was my main two guys. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I grew up off of the Trick Daddies. I'm from Florida, so I grew up off Trick Daddy, 8 Ball and MJG,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, um, Big Mike. Um, it was a lot of different artists, but my main two was Tupac and Scarface,
Who were your
which is
favorite
my favorite. My favorite. Them are in my top 5.
of all time?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. So what were your favorite records by Scarface and Tupac?
I couldn't even remember that, but yeah. I mean, me liking Tupac, Brenda's Got a Baby was one of my first things that I
Mm-hmm.
seen of him.
Right.
Like I could just remember watching BET and seeing that video, like
Mm-hmm.
sitting in front of the TV, and me and my friend um talked about rapping. You know what I'm saying? And we actually had another friend who taught us how to rap. Not really rap, but how to write raps, like bars, like what was 16 bars, and how to structure verses and hooks and stuff like that.
Right.
So I kind of learned that early, and I noticed that a lot of people, when I started rapping, a lot of people didn't know, when they was doing 16s or anything like that. They just rap and be like, did I rap long enough, or was that too short? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I kind of learned that early before I even really was really rapping. Like I learned how to structure a song.
Wow. And that's interesting you said that because rappers don't do that now.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
they just lay a verse and it's like, we good, we done. So
Yeah, it's a lot of short music going on.
it is. So like coming from that generation, and then I am gonna toggle back. You already know that. But
Yeah.
coming from that generation, how do you feel about music today?
It's a lack of effort, to be honest. I don't think that people are more concerned with the artistry. I think that they're, you know, feel like it's okay or it's cool to just, as they say, pop they, what I'm saying, pop they shit or whatever. You feel me? But you know, I think it's lacking a lot of substance, in artistry because you know they thinking that the beats is one thing and then they do a hook. You know what I'm saying? And and they out of there. But for me, I'm gonna always make musical substance and something that people can get from it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Right before I called in, I got a DM from this guy from Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? Talking about how he used to argue with people. You know what I'm saying? Of how raw I was, and how I help people through life, and you know what I'm saying. And don't never feel like I didn't. And it was kind of dope because I get them all the time. Like
Right.
people can't imagine how many of them I get.
Right. It's humbling though.
Yeah.
Like your content is fresh, but you still have wordplay.
Oh
If that
yeah.
makes sense. It's not rudimentary rap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Elementary. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, why does it sound like I'm in school? But yours don't sound like that. And it's
Right.
still a good story. So how did you learn how to rap? What was the first thing you did that pushed you in that direction?
Um. To be honest, I think it's just natural. Like I've always been a competitor. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always, for the most part, since elementary, I've been like a popular kid. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I've always like, was was big in sports and just popular in the neighborhood. And, as I got older, I became even more popular. But, being a competitive person, you always want to try to do your best to
Right.
impress people. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? And me personally, I don't really talk outside of things that I've done or seen. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little more hard to try to have rhyming words with reality
Right.
versus something that you make up. It's easy. That's why freestyling is so easy because you can say anything
Right.
and
Right.
it don't be realistic, but you can say it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Right.
I don't believe in that type of music, so I don't do it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I have to think a little harder,
Which
to come
makes
up with work.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
You said that last night that you don't freestyle, so it makes sense
Nah,
that you said it now that you've expounded on it.
right. Yeah.
Okay, I can dig it. So you're a professional rapper.
Hey, I wouldn't call it that. I think I've named my own category of music. You know what I'm saying? Reality rap.
Reality rap. I like that. So that needs to be on what's that? Wikipedia, because your information is definitely on
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So
definitely need to be on there.
yeah.
Definitely. I
So
don't know who in control of Wikipedia, but it's full of lies. I don't know where they get that stuff from. I don't know who did that, but man, they talking about I live in North Carolina and
saw that.
man, come on, man, what are y'all talking about?
Listen, you can't use that source, but you do have to use a reputable source. The only
Yeah,
that made sense was your name. Everything else, it was just from
yeah,
going to different interviews and watching you in action. And my
right.
favorite interview is you with the on the porch. That porch
Okay,
interview. That was a
yeah,
good interview, and that's where I got the information from about the shoes and
yeah.
how you caught the charge when you were 10 years old. So can you tell us about that?
Um, yeah, it was shortly after my mom had passed. Um, and like I say, my grandmother, she was working at Morrison's cafeteria. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but they're usually inside the mall. But she probably didn't make $3 an hour, to be honest. And she worked from 9 in the morning to 9 at night. So I had all the free time in the world during the day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I had some new shoes that my auntie had bought for me, and I was coming from school, me and my friend, and we was coming through the trail. And it was real muddy out there because it had been raining, and there was a board to go across this little water ditch. And the guy that lived in my neighborhood, a little white kid, I guess he felt like he could play, and as we was walking across the board, he like lifted up and made me like fall off the board into the mud, and my shoes, socks, and everything went under the water. So I just ran him down, you know what I'm saying, beat him up, told him if you don't get my money, I'm gonna beat your ass every day till you give me my money. You know what I'm saying? Not even 2, 3 hours later, the police department pulled up to my grandma's house, took me to jail, charged me with extortion.
Mm.
Didn't know what extortion was. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that in the detention center when you first go, they let you out with a supervised and an adult. Um, and I'm not sure if my grandma came and got me, but somebody came and got me. But eventually, the same charge stuck on my record up until now, still on my record, to be honest. But yeah, that was my first introduction with my criminal history.
Was 10 years old.
Yeah.
How long did you stay?
I think that I think I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't think that I had to stay overnight then.
Mm-hmm.
But as we going to court, you know what I'm saying? Um, I got into other I started getting in trouble because, like I was just a depressed, I wouldn't say angry, but just hurt kid, and anything that somebody say wrong just gonna like set me off. And that's just where I was at with it.
Right. And then that kind of followed you as you got older.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then when you got your first deal, Tell us about that.
When I got my first deal, I literally was like, I had a song called Represent.
Mm-hmm.
It was on fire, like in Florida, Alabama, some parts of Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I was in Dothan, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I had a show. Dothan, Alabama is probably like an hour away from my hometown, Panama City, Florida. So that's kind of like home for me as well.
Right.
So they own my music real, real heavy because, I promoted that area and they've, the DJs, they was rocking with me.
Right.
Um, Young Jeezy had a show in the same city the same night.
Mm-hmm.
He had just released his mixtape Streets is Watching,
Right.
but he hadn't it hadn't hit yet, but he had just released it. So he was down there promoting or whatever. And they had a show, but nobody was at their event. You know what I'm saying? It was the people was at my event. So they
Right.
came to my event. And when they came in, I was performing.
Mm-hmm.
And all they seen was the crowd singing my song Represent word for word.
Wow.
And they couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So after the performance, they pulled me to the side and they basically like, yo, man, what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? And they had already heard about me through
Mm-hmm.
my friends, Justice League, the producers. Their manager, Chuck Green, is a friend of mine. He was in Atlanta, like telling everybody about this guy, Blood Raw out of Florida. He the
Mm-hmm.
next thing, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why at the same time when CT wanted to sign me,
Mm-hmm.
Universal Records wanted to sign me, Atlantic Records wanted to sign me, T.I. wanted to sign me, Jazz Philip wanted to sign me, and some more people. You know what I'm saying? So CT wasn't my only, people that wanted to sign me. But at the same time, when I was going through that situation, it was word on the streets in my town that the feds wanted to pick me up. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much was trying to like do anything possible to get legit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't care about the money or none of that. Like, it wasn't a big deal for me signing for some big money. I just really wanted to legitimize myself so that whatever happened, that I'm doing music for real. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you know, we made the deal happen, and it probably took like 2 weeks for us to go to New York, and we did the deal with Def Jam slash CTE, um, and that's how I got the deal.
Wow. That was amazing. So what was your favorite song that you did as a breakout artist?
Um, well, when I got my deal,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's when I got picked up by the feds.
Wow. You didn't have no time.
Yeah, like literally, January 2006,
Mm-hmm.
we performed for MTV at the New Year's Eve ball drop in New York City on Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing I ever done in my life. Two things that I did big was we performed with Jay-Z for his tour,
Mm-hmm.
and then the New Year's ball drop. But I got picked up by the feds after that we was going to Jamaica for because Jeezy was getting ready to go on tour in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So we all was going to Jamaica, but I never had a passport. So I
Right.
had to go get my passport. And we had complications getting it when I tried to go get it. So they said, come back in 2 days, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you'll have it. Well, we didn't know, but I had a sealed indictment and it alerted when I tried to get my passport. You know what I'm saying? So when I tried to get my passport, it alerted the officials. So they called me in 2 days, say I could come get my passport.
Mm-hmm.
I come get my passport. As I'm walking in the building, a lady run outside and greet me and ask me for my name. And I'm like, my name is Bruce Folsom. You know what I'm saying? She's like, yeah, 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 come on inside. So I just feel something weird. You know what I'm saying? The whole scenery is just like a movie. Like the whole feeling is crazy. So I call my sister as I'm walking in the building. When I call my sister, as soon as I walk in the building, the feds rush from outside, inside, everywhere. They grab my phone, close my phone. Well, I had a Nextel phone in.
Back.
So when you close it, it still be on.
Right.
And my sister heard the conversation and then they hung it up, you know what I'm saying? And then, eventually when I went went to jail. I called and I told them. They said I had an indictment in Florida. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Right.
basically like my past caught up with me, and I had to go through that whole situation. By the grace of God, I was acquitted. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Wow.
So yeah, when I got acquitted, um, and actually it was the first case in over 20 some years in the Northern District of Florida to win.
Wow. That's
You know,
nuts.
oh yeah, it was a blessing from God. Like I
Yeah.
can't even, you know what I'm saying? Like
Black
it's
man.
just, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I'm getting to the story of the one of my favorite songs, or a couple of my favorite songs. But when I got released,
Hmm.
I recorded my indictment papers mixtape.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? With me and DJ Drummer.
Hmm.
When I recorded that tape, I had one of my favorite songs on indictment papers. Of course, was indictment papers. The song I had a song called Dope Boy, and I had a song called Ride the Night
Hmm.
that we wind up also using on the USDA album.
So, and that was one of your favorites as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So with that, like how long were you gone before you got out to celebrate that?
Well, we when I got locked up, we did what you call speedy trial,
Hmm.
and I only was locked up for like 5 months.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that long. We did speedy trial, because my lawyer just like, you know, these guys really trying to, they just want to mess your career up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They were my friends, so don't, you know, like I easily could have, I easily could have got convicted. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if you know me, then you understand that, I'm gonna always give God the glory because my whole life has been a spiritual battle for a
Right.
bigger picture, a greater calling. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was just part of what I had to go through
Right. To get here.
to get here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, and that's just really what it was. It was my judge first federal case. It
Hmm.
was the prosecutor first federal case.
Hmm.
That don't happen. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Listen.
Like you got to know, you know, the level of how God had his hands in the whole situation.
Amen. When your friends
Yeah.
do that,
Oh yeah.
man. So, and then now you're an independent artist. And then I think I read
Yeah.
somewhere where, like, we talked about it, and you did say you have kids. How many kids do you have?
Well, I have 4 girls and 2 boys.
Okay, all right. You was busy.
Yeah.
What do you want their legacy to be when they think about you?
I want them to know that, you know what I'm saying, that I did everything possible to make their lives better. You know what I'm saying? To give them a head start for whenever they graduate and whatever they want to pursue in life, that they can do whatever they put their minds to.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I want them to understand that having a good heart will take you farther than anything in life.
That's right.
Respect your elders always. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? And and
Right.
and and, and don't allow nobody to stop you from believing in yourself.
That's right. Amen. I love it. A true
Yeah.
father. A true father.
Yeah.
Some words now.
Straight up.
Speaking of your kids, and this is my last question before I get into your recent diagnosis with COVID. With
Yeah.
them, you said that they were not there this summer. So, what did
Hmm.
they do to combat the pandemic?
Um, they was at their grandparents' house in Florida,
Hmm.
which they kind of go every summer, or when they get breaks, they want to go down there. Um, but I did everything possible for me to become negative.
Hmm.
Um, I had a company come spray my house down, thoroughly. You know what I'm saying? So that when they came home, everything will be okay. And that was it for the most part. Like, I just took all precautions, you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying, to make sure that everybody was good.
Right. And when did you get diagnosed with COVID?
This was back in June. Back in June, I never forget. I had went to Detroit, to meet one of my radio friends, to start working this project. in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't get to meet because I was there 3 days, but on the third day that we were supposed to meet,
Mm-hmm.
I started feeling a little like weak, and I just wanted to lay in the bed. Like I ain't want to do nothing else. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I wind up doing this podcast earlier that day, and I got through the podcast, but I could feel myself having shortness of breath
Wow.
of breathing. You know what
Already.
I'm saying? Yeah, like me trying to talk, I could feel like, you know what I'm saying, the shortness. I would get shortness of breathing.
Right.
So but I'm not even thinking like nothing like that. I'm just like,
Good.
yeah, I'm thinking like, because when I go in different atmospheres, I always get a little sick.
Right. Right.
Like if I leave Florida and go back to Georgia, I'm gonna have to take some medicine because of the different climates.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that's really what it was. So I leave Detroit, I get home, and it hit me. Like it really hit me. You know what I'm saying? I just started feeling bad.
Right.
And I was just laying in bed, you know what I'm saying? And I was telling my sister I was feeling bad, and she was like, "You okay?" Like I'm like, "Yeah." But I had started really not being able to breathe if I get up and move.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like somebody was either choking me or
Man.
cutting my oxygen off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I felt safe of just laying in the bed and not moving at all.
Right.
Just lay there. You know what I'm saying? And I could breathe the little bit that I was able to breathe. You know what I'm saying? And then my sister she just wound up, making me go to the hospital. When I went to the hospital, you know what I'm saying? They said that I was positive. They took so much blood, it ain't even funny.
I think.
Stayed there for like 2 days. I was on a breathing machine. They did tests to make sure that my heart was okay, and different. And I was released 18 days, and then I got tested again, and it was negative.
So what was how long was that time frame from when you think you got it up until you got the initial diagnosis?
Um, before I got the initial diagnosis, it probably was like a week.
Wow. So you were suffering for a whole week.
Yeah, I really was. Like, no doubt, 4 days. Like 4 days, I didn't eat nothing. Like I ain't eat nothing. Like, and then my taste started going out. You know what I'm saying? Like everything started. Like, man, it was crazy.
What do you have to tell the people who still don't believe that COVID is that bad? It's not that severe.
Well, you know what I've learned with our people is that we don't believe nothing until they hit home.
Right.
That goes along with violence or anything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't nobody take nothing serious until somebody in their family member or them has it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And that's sad. Like, we got to do better, man. We got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? Life is real.
Right.
And our health is the most important thing that we can have as people. But we treat it as if, you know what I'm saying, we don't care about our bodies. We don't take no precautions. We think that everything is a joke, everything is a game, like, but it's real, man. You can't fake. And the thing about it is you can't. I'm gonna go on the record and say this because it's so real that white people, if they could control it, they would, because it's messing their money up. It's
Right.
bigger than that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It's bigger than that. It's something that nobody can control, because that's the purpose of, you know what I'm saying, us taking things for granted and not trusting God and understanding that you don't control everything. He does. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like money doesn't mean everything. Materialistic things doesn't mean everything. Like, y'all got to get it together. We got to get it together. You know what I'm saying? And
Fact.
that's just the reality check of the whole situation, I honestly feel.
Right. Well, I'm glad you survived it and you're here to tell the story. I can tell you that right now.
Right, me too. Me
And not
too, man. I've never been that scared in my life.
I'm sorry.
I said I've never been that scared in my life. Like, for real.
Man, I mean, and then when you go through it and then have to tell the story, it's just like that's crazy that you experienced that. That is even a thing that's happening right now. Period.
Yeah, man, people are dying for real.
Mhm.
Many people have died. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the thing about it is it attacks your immune system. So if you have any other complications, this is why we are dying at a more higher rate because we don't go to the doctor.
Right,
We be having high blood pressure, diabetes, all these different things, man. And this COVID, it attacks all those things.
right, right. Mm. And it's sad. It's sad that something that simplistic, and it's not simplistic, it's new. And
Yeah,
anything that's new, you can't fight off something that easy when it's new.
yeah, you don't know nothing about it. You don't
Right,
know how. You
right,
know what I'm saying? So you testing things out, you trying things, and you know,
right.
yeah, man, it's crazy.
So and now I'm going to get back into the music.
Hmm.
You're an independent artist now. You were with CTE. Tell me
Def
what
Jam.
happened with that.
We just got to a point where, I didn't feel like the label were doing the things that they supposed to do,
Mhm.
contractual wise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Um, even though I had a number 5 album on Billboard, you know, um, it was little to no promotions. You know what I'm saying? By the grace of God and my fans,
Hmm.
who I love to death, like they've always supported me to the fullest. Um, my app, my number 1 single, Louis Bag, never made BT. You know what I'm saying? They
That was
never
a dope
pursued it.
track.
Of course, it was a top 10 record. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But for whatever reasons, they told me that um BET wouldn't accept it because it had too much Louis Vuitton in the video, and it was just a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? They didn't print up a clean version of my album, so the DJs can't play it if it don't have a clean version. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, you know, Target couldn't hold it; it didn't have a clean version.
Hmm.
And from my understanding, they said that Target didn't accept it because of my name. It was just so much, like,
Red
you know what
tape.
I'm saying? Yeah, it was just so much. It was so much. But my second budget became open because L.A. Reid basically told Jeezy, "Y'all dropped the ball. We don't want to hear nothing else from CT but a Blood Raw project." You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he had either 18 months to release me
Hmm.
or drop my project.
Right.
He let the whole 18 months go out and I was able to be released. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Other than dropping the project. Like, it was just, you know. But over the 18 months, like, I couldn't entertain no other labels. I couldn't do nothing. So
Oh, you were
between the fit
stagnant.
me, huh?
You were stagnant.
I was stagnant. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
I co- I'm fresh off of having, you know, I had 2 federal indictments.
Hmm.
First was a conspiracy case.
Hmm.
Second was a gun charge, which should have been charged on the first case. But they
Right.
thought because I had a conspiracy case that they didn't have to, they never mentioned the gun
Right.
because they thought that I was going to be gone off of that.
Hmm.
So when I won, Florida got mad and made Atlanta pick the gun charge up.
What?
So 10 months later, I got picked up on a whole nother separate indictment
Mm.
and they wanted 15 years in prison. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So me going through all of this, these legal fees, and me going through problems with my label and all this, I was sucked dry.
Right.
You
You're
know what I'm
tough.
saying? Like, literally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and financially.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So at the 18-month period, when I got released, I pretty much said to myself, like, man, I don't want to do this no more. Like, I'm just drained. Like, I'm drained. I'm disappointed. You know what I'm saying? I'm at a place in my life where, like, bro, like, I'd rather just leave this alone if I hurt somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I enjoyed being home with my kids and taking them to school and picking them up and helping with homework and just the love in my house. You know what I'm saying? Not having to stress about nothing or worry about no industry talk, which is lies. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? But then I started receiving the DMs from my fans and men and women and teenagers telling me, you know, how my music helped change their life, and you know, they was in prison and whatever the stories was, it inspired me to be like, listen, man, this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm not gonna let nobody stop me from doing it. Like I had to get a reality check myself. Like, bro, you can't let nobody, because you went through something with somebody, you can't let them, you know what I'm saying, be the reason you stop doing what you called to do.
Facts.
And that's just really where I'm at with it. Like, you know, I feel like I got something to prove. So that's why you got the track like my intro. You know what I'm saying? No hook, no nothing. Just give you almost 4 minutes of number bar for bar. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You know, and just letting the world know, like, you know, this is what you got to do. When you feel like the world done gave up on you, when you feel like your family done gave up on you, you got to go harder.
That's right. That's right.
That's it.
And that brings me to your newest project, Hustle for Mine.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, and what motivated or stimulated that project?
This whole situation motivated my whole Hush album.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The Hush is an acronym, hustle until something happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what not just myself at, but that's where the world at.
Right.
You know, 2020 was a crazy year.
I ain't
You
lying.
know, so we all trying to hustle until something happen.
Right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So the first single on the Hush album is Hustle for Mine. And that's what I had to look in the mirror and say, bro, this is what you've been doing your whole life. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? You never waited on nobody. You
Mm-hmm.
never depended on nobody. Like you had to, you know, listen, I've been off the porch since I was 11 years old. Nobody never gave me nothing. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? I understand what it is to be against all odds. You know what I'm saying? I understand what real pressure is. Like, you know, I
Right.
just had to look in the mirror and tell myself, like, do what you do. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Do what you do, bro. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? And that's just where I've been at with it.
So you seem like the type that knows, number one, you can't be an overnight success.
Right.
Two, there is a waiting season. So what advice do you have for up and coming artists that's just trying to rush the process?
Well, nothing's gonna happen overnight.
So could you repeat that last statement?
Basically, you know what I'm saying? That without my advice to the up and coming artist is this, you know, at the end of the day, this is your dream. Whatever in life you want to do is your dream, is your vision. You know what I'm saying? You can I started out with literally 50 of my homeboys.
Mm,
And we went to every city in the state of Florida, partying, having fun, balling, whatever you want to call it. You know, we did it in every city. But
right.
eventually, when it all was said and done, it was only me and maybe two or three of my homeboys.
Wow.
So I said that to say this. You're gonna have family members, you're gonna have people that you love, you're gonna have people that you believe in and you trust, and you never would think that they'll quit on you. They're gonna quit because it's not their dream, and they only have a certain amount of time to support your dream. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? And you can't expect them to go past their limit.
Right.
So
Right.
the only way that you can lose is if you quit. If you believe in yourself, then you will never quit, no matter what it is. You will never get discouraged. You will never let nobody give you advice to do anything other than what you feel that you're supposed to be doing.
That's right. Okay, preach. Preacher man again. So
Straight up.
purpose or passion? Which is it?
Both for me.
Okay. All right.
Um, I'm gonna pick passion first,
Mm-hmm.
but overall I know that it's my purpose.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I love music more than anything in this world. You
Mhm.
feel me?
Right.
But it was a point in time where I gave my music to God just to feel like, well, to ask the question is this what I really supposed to be doing?
Right.
So I'm gonna give you what I love more than anything in this world. Like I'm saying this with all my heart. Like it's nothing else in the world that I would rather be doing or want to be doing other than music.
Okay.
That's how much I love it. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
I love music, like I love breathing. Like no, no ifs, ands, but somebody trying to call me, so I'm gonna hold on.
Thought it was me again.
Nah, my bad.
That's okay. Okay, we got action.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, as far as passion, like this is what I love. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I just told God, listen, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm gonna give it to you. And
Mhm.
if you think that if you tell me this is what I'm supposed to be doing, then this is when my purpose is gonna kick in. And I never, ever, ever give up. I never quit, and I never let you down because I know you feel me. Like
Mhm.
this is what I really supposed to be doing.
I love
And He
it.
gave it back to me. He
He did.
gave it back to me. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
still giving it to you.
yeah, definitely.
I love the fact that you said you gave it to him first. You don't hear a
Yeah,
lot of rappers saying that you gave it to God first, and here you are. So,
right.
you think some parts of the project speaks to that?
Of course, majority of the project speaks to that. And let me tell you, one of the reasons I gave it to God is because it's very few people in my life that I value their opinion, and it's not like I'm gonna go with what they tell me over sometimes what I believe. This
Hmm.
is how much I value their opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So one time my friend told me he was basically, and he's like a father figure to me.
Hmm.
He was my manager, you know what I'm saying? But he's not my manager no more. But you know, he told me one time, he was like, bro, you may be to a point where this may be not what God wants you to do.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it really like touched me because he know how much I love it. You know what I'm saying? He know me better than my sister. So it's like it really was on my heart. You feel me? And I prayed about it, and I just told God, like, you feel me? Like, you know how I feel. If this is what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm gonna give it to you. I want to give it to you,
Right.
and then you let me know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
I love
And
it.
clear as day, clear as day. You know what I'm saying? It just like for real.
Walk
Yeah,
by faith, not by sight.
best believe it.
Okay, I can dig it. I love it. So we're gonna get into what other projects are you working on?
Well, after Hush, I'm doing another album.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I just haven't came up with the name of it yet because it ain't hit me yet, but it's gonna come to me. I'm actually about to start the process of recording for that as well, but I got to get all my promo stuff out the way first and
Okay.
get a little time. But I'm on go, man. It's gonna be a big year for me, and I know that with all my heart.
That's right. You already manifested. Like it's
Yeah,
already there. It's already happening. That's why we chopping it up right now.
right, for sure.
So let's talk about social media. You, and
Right.
according to you, you don't have a huge following, but you
Yeah.
do, because if you go down and look at a few of the old school artists, minus Trick Daddy, because he be cutting up on social media.
Yeah, they be cutting up, man. You ain't gonna get that on my page. Like,
But that's the thing. When you go to the old school artists, their following isn't up there with yours. That's why I said, oh, you got a pretty large following. And
you
then
sure?
I'm sure, because that's the first thing that I look at. Like, okay, does the younger generation know this artist? Who knows this artist? So I even go through your friends to see who's following you. That's how
Right.
I investigate to see what this is like. And you only have like 5 pictures, and I'm like, well, how does that work?
Well, I had more. I just took them down. Like, you know what I'm saying? I took them down because I'm actually trying to start fresh for the album. Like, I only want content from the album.
Okay, all right, and I like that. Basically starting over.
Somebody trying to call me. I don't know who,
It's a
but
hotline.
I'm not. Man, that's crazy.
My other question is, while we wait on that person to stop blowing your phone up,
Yeah.
how do you feel about marketing via social media now, opposed to when you were touring and getting in the thick of things with your fans back in the day?
Um, it's crazy because, and it's tricky because you have to be careful with the internet. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is somebody on the internet.
Right. That's
You
right.
know, and it's and you can say that, you know, you're a marketing guru, and you know, buy you some followers and have 500,000 followers, and having 500,000 followers will get you a check because people really think that you're somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you have to be careful because you never know who you're dealing with.
Right. That's right. That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying? Versus, you know, marketing, you know, before you really had to have a cosign or somebody had to introduce you, or you seen the work that they've done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like people wasn't gonna spend money with you, or you know, or you wasn't gonna able to get over on nobody um that can see you or meet you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, it's you may meet somebody on the internet that can, you know, change your whole life.
Mm-hmm. That's usually how it works, but you have to be careful, not put so much of your feelings out there if you're not already renowned. Because if you're
Yeah,
not, you're gonna kill your career before it even take off.
right.
So and with that being said, and this is just totally off topic, it's on topic, but off topic, with the versus battle,
Right.
who do you think should be the next matchup?
Uh, who do I think? Uh, that's a good question. Dang, who would I want to see? Oh, I would want to see Future versus Drake.
Future, man, don't put them two against each other. I would be so sad.
Got to, got to though, got to.
They're the best in
Like,
the game, in my opinion, though. You can't put them
listen,
together. Why they do that?
yeah. What you mean? That's what you want to see.
Listen, Team Drake, but then also Team Future.
You listen what I'm trying to tell you. Listen, don't underestimate. Do not underestimate, man. Listen, when you talking about records, man, like that would be so crazy.
Man, it would be nuts because it's just two different styles, but both of them bop from generation to generation. So
Yeah,
that would be
man.
a good matchup.
Yeah,
I'm mad because
you
you
know.
spoke that into existence, though. Somebody got to lose. Like somebody,
That'll break. You think so? That'll break the internet.
I think it would. I'm Team
Yeah,
Drake though. Like, but if you get in my car right now, I'm definitely bopping some Future. Right?
yeah. Future. Hey, Future gonna surprise you if you put 20 records. You put 20 records of Future, 20 records of Drake. Man, Drake gonna have to step his game up.
He gonna have to. But see, he got
You
Future.
would just think automatically Drake, but boy, Future got, man.
See, Future.
I'm talking about.
Would it be a fair matchup? Because Future was out. Future came out kind of during your era when you signed with Jeezy.
No, they the same. They the same.
Oh,
Yeah,
how?
yeah, they the same. They the same.
Listen, I'm trying everything in my power to stop this matchup. See,
Nah, they the same.
they're not even in the same era. It's not a good. It's not a good
Let
look.
me tell you, the only edge that Drake will have on Future is the amount of women that's gonna be on the live.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I put on my best, not my Sunday best, but my best club wear.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and then I know I asked you about your newest projects, but what
yeah.
next for you as you grow through this year? You got any businesses popping, merchandise? What's going on?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely doing the merchandise thing. Um, it's coming soon. We working on that. I'm actually working on my documentary. We were trying to have it finished for the album as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because you know, we've been going back and forth of doing a 10-part episode, you
Wow.
know. But I also want it to be on either Amazon Prime or something like that. So I'm not sure if I want to do the episodes or the full documentary.
Mhm.
I personally want to do the full documentary because I feel like it's that intimate. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want, I know people have a short attention span now, but I feel like if it's in movie format, then people will be more, you know what I'm saying, into it versus watching it one week, waiting another week. You know what I'm saying? I feel both ways could work, but I would really want the world to watch it all the way through.
Right. I would watch it regardless. I binge watch everything. Whatever you put
Yeah.
out, if it's bomb, I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
watch it over and over and over again.
Right. For sure.
So you definitely gotta keep us posted with that. Like just hit us up and say, look, we ready to drop this. I need you to mark it. It's go time. So
For sure.
know where to follow you. Where can our viewers follow you so they can stay up to the minute with what you got going on?
Follow me on Instagram, Blood Raw 1, the number 1. Blood Raw, the number 1. That's on Instagram. On everything else, True Blood Raw, TrueBloodRaw. That's on Twitter. That's on Snapchat. Go to my YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Raw News. Raw News. RAWNEWZ. You can see my new video. You can see all my music, everything, my shows. You can watch it on Raw News. You know what I'm saying? Get my new single, Hustle for Mine. It's on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And my intro. It's called Hush. The intro is on all platforms. Make sure you get that. And the new video is on Raw News as well.
Okay, I'm getting ready to follow you right now. Okay. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Now you
appreciate you.
And we good.
Yeah. Already. Thank you.
Bye.
Later.
I had to get my groove. I had to cut my grass. I had too many snakes. I showed too much love. I got too much hate. Everybody claim they real. And they're just too much fake. They wanna see me eat. I had to fit my plate. I had to stay low key.